Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's the College Cabin. I'm your host, Kosher.
I'm Jared.
And I'm Luke. We got a short one for you guys today, so kick back, relax, and enjoy this new intro brought to you by Because Everybody Needs Heaven.
So this week's topic, we'd like to touch on the U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement trying to kick out a whole bunch of international students. So currently there are 1 million international students, over a million in the U.S. And ICE is planning on kicking out most of these students, whoever have online-only courses. And we know there's a heavy economic toll and just toll in general on the students with their anxiety and emotional state and etc. So would either of you like to, I guess, touch on any concerns you might have over what's happening?
Yeah. I'll start us off, I guess. Just like the first thing that comes to mind is like the I guess effect this is gonna have on the students. I mean, it seems more negative than positive. I don't really see like a benefit that the U.S. is getting here, other than having to spend a large amount of money to send these people back. But then even just on top of that, I don't know how they're gonna make the educational system work, especially with cases like Zoom meetings and stuff like that. People that are traveling back to their home countries across the globe are going to be attending meetings at 4 a.m. and 3 a.m. That's not good for them. That's kind of ridiculous, actually. And then furthermore, how's their connection going to be to the course? Because the servers are over here in the U.S. for the classes, so they're going to have terrible connection. It's just going to be a horrendous learning environment. So I don't know what they're doing. That's my opinion on the matter.
Yeah, that's the connection part that we're not too sure how that might play out in other countries. Luke, do you have anything you'd like to add on?
Yeah, I feel like along with the internet connectivity problems that will occur and the time change differences that certain countries and stuff have certain restrictions to what's allowed internet wise and stuff like that. So it's not just a fact of possibly not being able to access the internet to get to it. It's the fact that what you're trying to get to might also be banned depending on where you're from, which just makes your chances of learning what everyone else is learning in an equal environment exponentially harder.
Yeah, and the 1 million number, I think there's another statistic that came out that there's at least going to be 400,000 of these students who have full online courses, because we know there's so many different colleges. I'm pretty sure the UCs have already stated all their entire fall semester is going to be online only. So we know any international student there or at the CSUs they're going to have to go
Harvard's doing online only.
Yeah.
And that's also full tuition for them.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And speaking of tuition, the economic impact that this is going to have, if you look up the numbers, there's a number from 2018 stating that the international students contributed $45 billion to the U.S. economy, paying off their tuition. So, what do you guys? I don't know. What do you guys, I guess, take from this?
I mean, has ICE said what the reasoning is? Because this.
No, there's a whole bunch of speculatory stuff.
The main speculation is that schools are being pressured to reopen from government.
Mm-hmm.
And there's already enough pressure for them to reopen, and they want to reopen. But there's just safety is the number one thing right now for students. But I feel it's more of a pressure tactic to have schools push them to fully reopen instead of pushing online classes to try and get more income, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How would getting rid of these students add to the pressure of doing that? Would it just be less students per classroom or something, or what's the tactic that they're taking here?
Well, because I feel like the schools care about their students and they want to make sure everyone gets equal opportunity of learning and stuff like that. And by threatening to get rid of a wide range of students that help contribute to not only helping pay for things in the school, but also just like expanding the school's name into different countries and stuff. By threatening to get rid of that, schools feel more pressure to, oh wait, we can do some in-person classes because we need these kids. So I just feel it's more.
I see what you're saying.
And if you think about it, like if you had more on-campus schooling, then kids would, for lunchtime or whatever, they'd go out, or in the morning go grab coffee for class from Starbucks or whatever it is. So that's probably another pressure that they're probably feeling. Like um since everyone would be it's just being online, like you're stuck at home, I don't think many people would probably be in the mood to go out for lunch like every day.
So like
So
businesses in the area are also
are
facing.
affected. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
I've got you.
Mhm.
I mean, it's I still don't see the point of this. I mean, I know personally that a very large grouping of these international students take these transfer programs because they I guess they want to escape their home country, not in that like their home country is threatening them, but back at their home country they're not experiencing the best mental health, and
Mhm.
like their surroundings aren't the greatest, and so that hurts their learning. But I mean, this is like one of the worst possible scenarios, and it's kind of a cheap tactic that I am not a fan of, in my opinion.
Yeah, me either.
What I also don't understand is that it's also speculated that it's to like reduce the amount of the percentage that the virus can spread and things like that. But what doesn't make the most sense is that pretty much, if not all, most of these kids are already in the United States. So,
Mhm.
so they're not coming. They're not already coming from somewhere to come back to the United States. They're probably already in the United States to try and get ready because college move-ins are going to be starting soon and all that. So I just don't understand what. There's no point in having to send them back if they've already been here. That they're not going to do anything different sending them back than if they were here.
Yeah, that's the question I had as well. Most of these students have been here for like at least a year, so yeah, like you said, there's not much of a difference.
I mean, essentially, the only positive here that the students can be thinking of is they get to get out of this country that has the most cases and the highest freaking dead people from coronavirus. I mean, that could be the only positive because, in my opinion, the U.S. is handling this pandemic horrifically. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's just sad what's happening.
Yeah, because you guys know how I'm going to Chicago for college.
Yeah.
So on July 6th, I believe, Chicago implemented a rule that if you're traveling in from, they have a list of states. If you're traveling in from any of those states, you have to go into a 14-day quarantine
Hmm.
before you can do anything.
Yeah.
So, so for me, I find it semi-inconvenient because I'm like, oh no, what would I do? Do I have to stay in my dorm for 14 days before
Is
school start
California
and
on that
stuff?
list of states?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
bad here, but like at the same time, I think that's smart. Get people that are because when this whole thing started, interstate travel did not cease. So if it started in one state, it could easily go to another state and just keep switching like that. Um, but by Chicago implementing that thing where people come from certain states, they have to quarantine themselves for 14 days, I just feel that's making because their curve's going down. So that's just going to help keep their curve going down, I feel. But I'll see what the school uh, does for the kids coming from those states. But until then, I think it's a smart idea, but it's a little bit like oh man kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep, I got
And
you.
and like speaking on like what colleges are doing, my cousin college he attends, they if you're well they made a rule where if you have any classes on campus, they won't let you stay off campus, so you have to stay in a dorm there, which has centralized AC units, and we already know what why I'm bringing this up.
Mhm.
So they and also like if when you're staying on campus, you can't go out of your dorms. Like they have a curfew at like 6 p.m. You can't go out on runs or anything like that, and they're gonna be patrolling the campus to see if anyone's like out of their dorms, like walking around. So I mean, this is like serious, like emotional, like depressive state. Like it sounds like he's not going to college, like he's going to jail. Because yeah, so like it's already pretty taxing for students who are like second, third year in college already and are away from their home, away from their family. Making these decisions is probably really tough. And like just you know we're none of basically nobody knows what's going to happen within the next few months and how schooling will turn out. Um, so it's just like like emotionally, this is like taxing and just probably breaking students who like are unsure if like schooling is going to be all online or not.
The stress that every student
Mhm.
already has.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's kind of been stressing me out. Is like I wouldn't mind if they say, oh, my school's doing full online, everyone stay where
Mhm.
they are. To be honest, I wouldn't mind that for the first quarter too much. Like I'd like to do a first quarter, but that's okay. But what's hard for me right now is the unknown, because they just
Yeah.
haven't told me what's happening, all these things. All it keeps saying is we'll let you know soon, we'll let you know soon. And months have gone by, and we've gotten small amounts of information here and there. They started their plans to reopen, but then, like I said, the new certain states need to do the quarantine thing if they go to Chicago. So I don't know what's going to happen there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand. Like, even just in my case, I'm going to community college, but still, there's a certain amount of courses and a certain amount of points I need to reach in order to, transfer to a UC or another place that I like to go. And if I'm taking classes online, I want to know which courses I should take now that will be easy online and which courses I want to avoid because I don't perform as well in them online.
Yeah.
And without knowing how many of the next semesters are going to be online, I'm kind of just going into these first couple of months blind, just hoping that this ends by the time I graduate.
Yeah.
Really stressful.
And like you said, you're basically talking about like more hands-on classes. And for students who are like engineers, like my cousin, are going into that kind of that spectrum of career choices, like bioengineering, anything like that. They're required to have um, clinic and labs and stuff like that. And you can't really do that stuff at home, because they're giant, massive machines, or your projects, or you can't really just bring that home because it's a group project. So for juniors and seniors, which junior and senior years when you're supposed to be taking your clinic course, um, that's like the biggest question. Like, does a student go for this semester, and will that even prepare the student for graduating, like for the real world? Or is this semester just a throwaway semester, and should just everyone consider, who are more in the hands-on world, should they just consider might like skipping out this semester, just reattending in the spring semester?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Um,
feel like people who, because people do like skip years after high school. This would have been a perfect
yeah,
year if you wanted to take a
yeah,
skip
Yeah,
year.
I know
yeah,
friends
for a leap
personally
year.
that are doing that just because of the pandemic.
Mm.
Yeah.
So speaking of the coronavirus, have you guys heard the what's happening with the WHO, with like the scientists and stuff?
I'm
No,
educated
no.
about it. I don't know about Luke.
Educate me. I don't know.
All right. So basically, a few days, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, and like a few articles came out, that 243 scientists, have proven that the coronavirus is an airborne virus. And so now the WHO or WHO is taking that into, like, they're trying to prove that,
Yeah, they're like investigating it,
yeah, they're investigating it. And this would,
investigating the hypothesis.
yeah, and this would change the game and then explain a lot of different things about like like how is the case is spreading so
Yeah, and
fast.
it feels like super late to be investigating this because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I know personally, to plug another podcast, the Joe Rogan podcast, I
Mhm.
saw an episode at least 3 or 4 months ago in which a scientist that he had on the show was arguing the same thing, that it could possibly be airborne. So I don't know why it took so long just to see if these accusations were real.
Yeah.
One big
Yeah,
negative
you
I
go,
see
you go.
I see to this is though, because the WHO is investigating it. I think it was a month and a half ago. The United States cut ties with the WHO or some.
Hmm.
I, I
It
don't
was.
know
It
why.
was.
It wasn't really. I don't know why, but they cut ties with them. So any help, like information that WHO might give, we don't know if the U.S. government or CDC will abide to what they're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use it.
Well, I kind of want to bring this up just to inform our viewers, for anyone who's not informed. And we'll link an article in the description so you can read about it more yourself if you wanted to.
Yeah, just a friendly reminder, everyone. Still in a pandemic. It's not.
Yeah.
It is not settling down, even though
Yeah.
Please
things for
don't
some reason
go.
are reopening. It
Yeah, please don't
reopened
go to
too
Disney
soon.
World, Florida.
Yeah, please don't do that.
And if you go to Disney World, Florida, never contact me again
Yeah.
for a couple months.
You can literally see alligators in your backyard. Why would you want to go to Disneyland for
Like-
that? It's okay.
I just don't understand how these people in office with power are just like, oh, most cases in the recent history of coronavirus. Well, let's just reopen everything and see what happens.
Yeah, but
Makes
we've seen how
absolutely
bad
no
it is. I think when did California reopen again? Oh, beginning of June.
Probably a couple weeks
15th.
ago, right?
June 15th.
Yeah.
So on
two,
June
3 weeks ago.
15th, they had about 2,000 new cases in one day, and as of July 7th, on July 7th, they had 11,694 new cases in one day
Yeah.
in
Like, we're seeing this-
California. So people
Yeah.
just stop going to the beach. That's one
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
Why do you need to eat out? Just bring it home. There is
Postmate it.
Or support my homie. Yeah.
Support- yeah,
Me,
support-
if you
support-
don't know,
support
me and
Jared.
Kosher-
Jared
Me
with
and
his
Kosher-
Postmates.
Kosher too,
Yes.
he's signing up. Kosher and I are
signing
both
up.
working
Gosh, you're
for
signing up for
Postmates.
Postmates.
Hit us
Let's
up,
do
you
it.
know.
Yeah.
Support them.
And
They'll
tip
bring
us
you all
though.
your sushi and burger
Maybe a
needs,
little more sauces and etc. You know,
sauces and everything.
ketchup, whatever. Speaking of this, like there's some people like people are arguing, our mortality rate isn't that high, or something like that. But if you look
That's
at like
I hate that argument.
yeah, it's so stupid because like our hospitalization rate is really high. Like
Yeah,
in Texas, it shot up like 300%. In Florida, like 140%. Hospitalization, and we've already seen like our limited resources with ventilators and everything like that. So, like, how's this gonna play out?
I think, was it you, Kosher? I don't know if it was you, but someone told me that on the 4th of July, Texas alone like tripled the amount of cases it has
Yeah.
daily. Or something. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous. Some ridiculous facts. Was that
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, it was me.
Oh,
It
a
was,
fun
yeah.
to add on to that. On July 5th, in California, so July 4th had about 5,400 new cases, but on
Yeah.
July 5th they reported about 11,530 new cases.
Oh my.
Yikes! And this is like I was watching the news the other day, and not only like people go to the hospital for thousands of different reasons, and like a lot of senior folk aren't going to the hospital because they're not sure if they're going to catch the virus or not, and they're they usually
Exactly.
go to the hospital for meds or whatever normal checkups. Like, so like the issue here is like people are just not going to the hospital for reasons that they normally would go to the hospital for, because they'd come back with another issue. So I guess
I think that wraps it up, right?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that wraps it
Quick
up.
shout out to Guam. July 9th, only 2 new cases.
Let's
Oh,
go.
Let's give them a quick round of applause there. They're
Those
doing
are my
good.
boys.
Guam knows how it goes. All right. I just want to say thanks for listening to this podcast. This one was kind of short. So, yeah, nice short one. You guys just enjoy family time. That's what I'm gonna go do. Enjoy a little
Eat sushi.
little
You guys
family time.
Tune in next week. I'm the host. I
Yes,
got the
tune in
topic.
next week. Jared should be the host. We'll either do next week or the week after. We'll send out an
Yeah,
Instagram
possibly.
about if we're gonna postpone it.
Yeah.
And
Um,
And we're lining up guests, guys. Don't worry.
yes,
I promise.
sir.
And within the next 5 to 10 podcasts, I promise we'll have at least one guest.
Do
It's in the
5 to
works.
10.
It's in the
Oh,
works.
okay. See you guys in 4 weeks when we have our first ever guest.
It's in the
And
works. We have some busy
lastly,
people.
shout out to the homie Ben for making our intro and outro music. Follow him
Oh
on
yeah.
YouTube,
Yes.
Spotify, and Instagram. Everybody Needs Heaven. He is truly pretty talented, and like his music is a vibe basically.
No cap.
Yes, sir.
Just
Oh my
stream. Everybody Needs Heaven.
Yes, sir.
For real.
So,
All right.
all right. From
Thank you for tuning in.
thanks for tuning
It's been
in.
your
From
boys, me, and College Kevin.
It's been Connor.
Me and me.
Me and me from the college cabin.
Have a great week.
Adios.
Yes, sir.